hit and killed an 83-year-old woman.
It happened here on this stretch of road which goes between Swampscott and Salem.
The accident happened just after 9 Saturday morning here on Loring Avenue in Salem, Massachusetts.
This section is between the towns.
It's very congested and many cars are traveling much faster.
It's a state highway, there's no parking. And I think because they don't see any parked cars, maybe that's why they just speed up a little bit.
The woman was taken to Salem Hospital, where she was pronounced dead a short time later.
Route 1A, most commonly known as Loring Avenue, runs along the edge of Swampscott throughout Salem, Massachusetts, ending at an intersection along Lafayette Street. Measuring roughly 2.2 miles long, the street has gained somewhat of a reputation by its curve, running alongside the Salem marshes and a stretch of road connecting into Vinnon Square. I have lived directly on Loring Avenue since I was 6 months old. After 16 years, I have grown immune to the sounds of motorcycles revving up and going 90 miles per hour at 2 in the morning. I have also been desensitized from accidents. Being that Loring Ave is considered a highway, many drivers carelessly speed past its residential areas. I have had to call the police numerous times, and we have had to file claims on my father's work truck when it was hit by drunk drivers or people hugging the breakdown lane on 3 different occasions. Parking in front of your own home is practically a death sentence. This past December 2016, my brother Adam and his girlfriend came home around 11 p.m. in separate vehicles. Arriving a few minutes before him, Rachel parked in front of our neighbor's home to our right and began to walk up our stairs. Ben, when he noticed the car in front of him, was acting strange. He slowed down and watched as the car struck our left neighbor's retaining wall and the fire hydrant before speeding into the road. The avalanche of rocks that my neighbor had just renovated boomed throughout our street. Being awake for way too late on a school night, I heard the accident from within my home while music blaring in my headphones. Grabbing my phone, I ran outside with my family and dialed 911. Not knowing what had happened, I ran down the stairs and saw my brother yelling at a clearly intoxicated man. As the man began chucking open beer bottles into the woods on the opposite side of our street, Rachel mentioned to me that the passenger in the car had run away from the scene towards Vinnon Square. When the police had arrived, we pointed them in the direction of the open containers and they began to cuff the young man. Standing with my neighbors, we found that the car had hit the hydrant and had knocked it off its foundation. It had been sent up into the air and landed about 50 feet down the street near Oakview Avenue. It rested right next to the passenger of Rachel's car on the sidewalk. One of the most tragic events to have happened on Loring Avenue was in 2013 on a quiet Saturday morning. On the corner of Oakview, sisters Laura and Feliska tend to their immaculate garden most mornings. Growing pears and apple, the garden provided many treats as well as a visual pleasure when their large Polish family would visit them. Like many times before, Feliska was cutting the weeds from her garden and crossing the busy road to discard a 5-gallon bucket. Tragically, on that Saturday morning, the 83-year-old was struck by an unidentified vehicle while walking back to the safety of her home. The vehicle had disregarded the light they had just struck and continued down the road while my neighbors and I ran to her aid. Curled up on the floor, the woman was hardly breathing. Her slippers had been knocked off during the impact and rested in the breakdown lane. Since my mom was a nurse, she cared for Feliska as best she could until the paramedics arrived. Sadly, she was pronounced dead a few hours later. Such extreme accidents occur on Loring Ave all the time, however, no action has been taken to protect the residents along its path. I believe that it's necessary to be cautious of your surroundings when driving and to not take the speed limit for granted. I also believe that in order to decrease these unnecessary crashes, the speed limit should be lowered to 30 in every part of the street. Hopefully with the assistance of the city, we can limit the dangers on Route 1A.